AITA for telling my cheating wife a day before our daughter's graduation that I would be divorcing her. My wife and I have been married for 20 years, and we have an amazing daughter who just graduated high school a few months ago. For the longest time, I thought we had a solid marriage. We were that couple everyone thought would make it. You know, the kind where people say, oh, they're the ones who will be together forever. And for a long time, I believed that too. 6 years ago, though, my world flipped upside down. I found out my wife had been cheating on me. She'd been having an affair for a couple of months, and it completely shattered me. I wasn't snooping or anything. I actually found out by accident. One night, she was in the shower, and her phone lit up on the nightstand next to me. I wasn't even going to look, but something made me glance at it, and I saw a message pop up that said, "Can't wait to see you again tomorrow." I wish I could say I didn't immediately assume the worst, but I knew in my gut what it was. The next few days were a blur. I confronted her, and after initially trying to deny it, she admitted everything. She broke down and begged for forgiveness, swearing that it was a horrible mistake and that it would never happen again. She said it was just a fling and that it didn't mean anything to her. I wanted to believe her, but the betrayal was overwhelming. In my heart, I wanted a divorce right then and there. I couldn't see how I'd ever be able to trust her again, let alone love her like I used to. But at the same time, she was genuinely remorseful. She quit her job where the guy worked, started therapy, and did everything I asked for in terms of reconciliation. She told me she'd do whatever it took to make things right. And I'll be honest, I stayed mostly for our daughter. At the time, she was 12, and the idea of breaking up our family, especially when she was about to enter her teenage years, just felt wrong. So, I decided to stay. For the first few years after the affair, things actually got better. We went to couples therapy, had regular date nights, went on romantic vacations, the whole 9 yards. It was almost like we fell back in love with each other. Or at least I thought I did. There were still moments where I'd be lying in bed next to her, wondering how we got here, but I tried to push those thoughts aside. I figured if I kept working at it, those feelings would eventually go away. But then about a year ago, I started having these intrusive thoughts. It was like the wound reopened. No matter how much progress we'd made, I couldn't shake the memory of her betrayal. I kept thinking about the lies, the sneaking around, the way she was able to look me in the eyes while cheating on me. It started eating away at me again, and I felt like I was living a lie. My sister is the one who really made me see things clearly. We were having coffee one afternoon, just catching up, and I don't even remember how we got on the subject, but she said something that hit me hard. She asked, "Would you really want to spend the rest of your life with someone who hurt you so deeply? Life is short, and you deserve to be happy." That was it. That was the moment I knew I couldn't stay anymore. My sister didn't even know the full extent of what had happened. She just knew I'd been unhappy for a while. But her words stuck with me, and a couple of days later, I made up my mind. I was going to leave. Here's where things get complicated. My daughter was about to graduate high school, and I knew it was a huge deal for her. She'd worked so hard, and I didn't want to ruin that for her. I figured I could wait until after her graduation to tell my wife. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I couldn't pretend any longer. I just couldn't fake it, not even for a few more days. So, the day before my daughter's graduation, I told my wife that I wanted a divorce. To say she was shocked would be an understatement. She cried, a lot. She begged me to reconsider and asked if there was anything she could do to change my mind. But by then, I was done. I told her that it wasn't just about the affair anymore. It was about the fact that I couldn't see a future with her. I told her I'd tried for 6 years, but I just couldn't keep pretending. My mind was made up, and there was no going back. The next day was my daughter's graduation, and honestly, I thought things went okay. I was so proud of her, and I thought I did a good job of keeping things together for her sake. My wife seemed a bit off, but I figured she'd keep it together for the day. I didn't think my daughter noticed, but apparently she did. She asked me afterward why her mom seemed upset and if something was wrong. I just brushed it off and told her to focus on her achievement and not to worry about anything else. But then, the day after graduation, I told my daughter that I was going to divorce her mom. I didn't want to blindside her with it later on, and I thought she deserved to know the truth. She was shocked, obviously, but what really caught me off guard was her anger. She lashed out at me, asking how I could do this to her mom right before her big day. She said that was why her mom wasn't herself during graduation and that I ruined it for her. I tried to explain that it wasn't her business and that my wife and I would always love her no matter what, but she didn't want to hear it. She was hurt and angry, and now, I feel like I've lost both my wife and my daughter. My wife and I are currently going through the divorce proceedings, but things are tense at home. My daughter barely talks to me, and I can't help but wonder if I messed everything up. I thought I was doing the right thing by being honest, but now I'm questioning whether I should have waited until after graduation or handled things differently. Maybe I should have given my wife a heads up earlier, or maybe I should have kept it to myself until after the celebration. So, Reddit, AITA for telling my wife I wanted a divorce the day before my daughter's graduation? Did I screw up by choosing that moment to drop the news? Or was it better to be honest, even if the timing wasn't perfect?